Hey everybody, welcome to a live stream. Let me fix the camera. It seems a little low. Okay, I think that's good. So let me know you're here so I could put your name on this Excel file for the raffle. We do 2 raffles every live stream, and you could win a $20 Amazon gift card. It's a great time to be buying in this market. Unfortunately, most of us don't have money because it's tied up into the market, but if you get your hands on some money, prices are low. They may bounce up before you know it, or they may keep going down. No, I didn't get it. Well, the guy contacted me. He saw one of my videos, but I don't think he'll offer me the job. There was something I didn't explain that well on the call. But it's fine. I was just curious what everybody thought based on the description. But yeah, I'm just looking around because it gets pretty boring being at home all day. And I do wish I had some cash to put into the market. It's killing me not to have extra money to invest when it's so low. But yes, you let me know if you hear. Wednesday was great, right? The market went up a ton on Wednesday, and then it came right back down Thursday and Friday because they raised rates on Tuesday, right? And then the market went up a lot Wednesday. Bulldog Trading, everybody subscribe to Bulldog Trading. Great channel, very supportive. They do 24-hour live streams, so they're always live streaming. But it's funny because when the market goes down, you feel like you don't know what you're doing. You're like, oh my God, why did I invest in this and this? I'm so stupid. And then when the market goes up, you feel like a genius. You're like, oh, I'm so smart. Look, I'm doing so well. I love investing. But you just got to keep putting money into the market. You don't know when it's going to go up or down. You just keep averaging into everything, and then over so many decades, you'll have a ton of money. Oh yeah, I'll definitely be on your show. Yeah, I'd be honored. How many people run your channel? Because it has to be a bunch, because to do 24-hour live streams, that's just crazy. But yeah, everything's going well. Well, obviously, except the market. The media talking heads have to create a headline to explain why it went up and down. Yeah, it's painful. I can't look at my portfolio. It's depressing. BLCO, BHC. Eight broadcasters. You always have a lot of people on a live stream. It's a good way to build your channel. ELCO. Bosch Health Companies. Oh, Canadian company. Laval, Quebec. Are you Canadian? So on Friday, yeah, Ollie's went down 5% Friday after market. I don't know if you saw that. I did a video on Ollie's. And yeah, lots of stocks, lots of movement, right? The past week, lots of activity. Anybody else before I start doing the raffle? If you win the raffle, you got to email me at this email address, and then I'll email you a $20 Amazon gift card. Finally, have some time to check out your live streams. Yeah, thanks for joining. TJS Kelly. I have a PowerPoint presentation I'll go through during the live stream. Brandon Barnes. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe taking a job at like a retail store because I'm just so bored some days. In the beginning, when I first sold my company, I really enjoyed being home, but then after a few months, it got kind of boring. I guess the channel isn't growing. Like it was growing, then it kind of plateaued. So I'm still doing a video a day, but it's not as fun when things go down, like the stock market. Yeah, Bulldog. Do you notice views are down in a bear market? It seems like I get less views in a bear market. 8. Berkshire is doing well. That's one of the few stocks that seems to be. And Johnson & Johnson is doing well also. But a lot of stocks I have that are getting crushed. Maybe start a second channel. I don't know. I don't know what I would do for a second channel. It's hard to Mountain Finance. Make sure you email me. What should I start a second channel on? I just did a video on Coca-Cola. Volunteer somewhere. Yeah, I don't like volunteering. I have volunteered before, but for some reason, I don't have any qualifications. That's a problem. I have no skills. Did you watch the Warren Buffett Munger meeting? No. I usually watch it like after the fact. What was it good? So I just made a video. I'm going to try to do more educational videos, because I think the problem is when I make a video, a DCF video, after a week or two, no one really watches it, because no one wants to watch a video about like last year's financials. They want to see current. So DCF or valuation videos don't really get much views after like a week. But if I do a video about a topic like this, what is accounting? At any time, someone can watch it and get value out of it. Does Bulldog? They do live streams, but I think sometimes they're not actually. There's not someone there. Like they're playing. You should do a series on GAAP versus IFRS. You know, I'll show you this video I put together. And these videos take forever to put together. I spent so much time gathering the content, practicing it, editing it, and I get hardly any views. That's why I just kept going back to DCFs, because I could do it pretty quickly now. Like I could almost do it in about 3 hours, start to finish, which is really quick because it used to be a lot longer. But these non-DCF videos, it just takes like all day. Okay. No, Bulldog wasn't the guest. What is accounting? Oh, the Investopedia definition is it's the process of recording financial transactions for analyzing and reporting to rating agencies, regulators, and also, hey Ben, how's it going? So in simplest terms, accounting is just collecting and organizing financial data for companies or individuals. So anytime you gather information, like if you put together a spreadsheet of all your expenses, that's accounting. I mean, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. But it is accounting in some respect. Oh, Lucas, he's back at work? Okay, so the 4 main areas of accounting. Oh, wow. Oh, I guess school is over for him. I guess that makes sense. Agav. Okay, so the first of the 4 main areas of accounting is, the first is bookkeeping. So the bookkeeper actually enters the information into the computer. In the past, it used to be on in an actual book. That's why they call it bookkeeper. So every single transaction, they have to have a debit and a credit, so it always balances. So they populate the general ledger, and the general ledger has every single transaction a company produced. And then the general ledger makes the financial statements. A general ledger populates the income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flows. And as well as internal reports. Because if you're a private company, you still do this. You still do have debits and credits. You have to keep track of your transactions. You need to have a balance sheet, an income statement. You just don't have to give it to anybody if you're a private company. But if you're a public company, you have to provide certain financials. But these slides are on my Patreon channel. So for the 21 Patreon members, you can get this. So to explain bookkeeping, I think it's easier to think about it in the old way to start. Because if you just use a computer, you don't really learn anything. So let's pretend we're a company in the 1950s. So anytime there's a transaction, it gets entered into a day book. A day book is just like a book you keep track of every transaction. If you buy lunch for the office, that goes into that's an outflow of cash, and then it's an expense you have to report. So every single transaction goes into the day book. And then at some point, you have to put all those transactions, all those journal entries into ledgers. Ledgers are just books. And you have a sales ledger for all your sales, all your revenue. You have a purchase ledger for everything you purchase. Some companies just have 5 ledgers. You have to have at least 5. But there's companies that have hundreds of ledgers that are big companies. Because if you have a sales ledger, you could keep track of all your sales, all the revenue you generated. But if you're a really big company, like say Apple, you might have the ledger for the phones, and then you have a separate ledger for the computers, and then a separate, you might have a ledger for each product you offer. So they had to actually write in the ledger the debit and credit. It's very time consuming. So you can post to your ledger every day. Like every single day, you can update your ledger with the transactions for the day. Hey, Derek, thanks for joining. Thanks for being a member. Or if there's lots of transactions every day, like hundreds a day, you might want to just do it once a week or once a month. So you might have like 20 ledger books, like one for inventory, one for fixed assets, and you have to update. So in the 1950s, if you had a company like IBM, there may be 500 bookkeepers. Now there's like one bookkeeper because it's on a computer, but you would have to have tons of bookkeepers. You might have the inventory bookkeeper that just does inventory. And then you might have the cash bookkeeper that just does the cash ledger book. And then, so you have all these ledger books, right? And then the next step is you have to input everything into the main ledger, the general ledger. So if you look at a general ledger, every single transaction the company has ever done is in that book. That's the main book, the general ledger. The people have to actually write in these books. And then you have a book. It's a much smaller book, the trial balance, which is just each account and the balance. So if you have cash, I had pictures on the video. Yeah, I made these for the video. So the trial balance. So say at the end of the year, you need to create your trial balance. So how much cash do you have in your account at the end of the year? 10,000 of cash. How much accounts receivables? 5,000. Accounts payables. How much revenue did you generate for the year? What was your rent for the year? And then you use the trial balance to populate the balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows. Because all you need is what's in the account. Like, you don't have to report every single transaction on your balance sheet. It's just one number for cash, right? You don't see all the back and forth. It's just that one number on the trial balance. It'll be, if you watch the video, I think it's Tuesday it's coming out. It'll be a lot easier to follow because it's kind of organized better. But so the trial balance is much shorter than a general ledger. It's it could be only like maybe 5-10 pages. It just has 2 columns, a debit and a credit, and it just lists each account. Although some companies might have 1,000 accounts, so it could be long for those companies. Other companies might just have like 20, 30 accounts. So that's how everything is generated from the trial balance. That's how you get the info for these reports. And then if an insider in a company, like the CEO or CFO, wants information, they can get more detail from the bookkeeper. If they want to know every single transaction that occurred in like in the UK, and they want to like just see more detail, they can get anything they want from the bookkeeper. Could you imagine how long this took for companies to do? Okay, so now we'll fast forward a few thousand years, like literally thousands of years. They were doing paper bookkeeping by paper. And then once they got computers, it's all computerized. I used QuickBooks for mine, and it just saves so much time and there's hardly any errors. So in QuickBooks or any software, you have to put a chart of accounts. Yeah, update your ledger. You want to stay on top of that. You have to add a chart of accounts to your QuickBooks or whatever software you use. And every account falls into these 5 categories. It's either an asset, a liability, an equity account, a revenue account, or expense account. It has to be in one of these 5 categories. And I'll show you an example. So this looks like it's from Facebook. I just pulled it off the web somewhere. So every single asset account starts with a 1, and it's always 4 digits. So cash is 1,100. Maybe accounts receivables is 1,101. It has to start with a 1. Liabilities have to start with a 2. Equity accounts start with a 3. Revenue or income accounts start with a 4. And expenses start with a 5. Actually, expenses, it could go as high as you can go. So you might even go into the 6,000s or 7,000s, because companies tend to have a lot more expense accounts than anything else. You use paper. Wow. But if you like look in, if this was on the computer and say this is Facebook mobile sales, there might be like a plus here where you could click on the plus, and then it drops down to all the sub accounts. So mobile sales may be 1 billion, but within mobile sales, you can see the detail. It might be Facebook mobile sales, 600 million. Then Instagram mobile sales, and the sum of all those would equal that. So there's always a ton of information. Okay. I mean, I like Nokia, but the market is really Nokia doesn't seem to move much. It's even lower than it was. I should do another video on Nokia. $17. Ben. 7. Doc. You have to get picked twice to win the raffle. 3. 9. 3. Okay, Kevin. So Kevin Mendoza, just email me. Should I keep going? Is anybody listening? I know it's kind of boring, but okay. So the second area of accounting is financial accounting. So bookkeeping was the first, now financial accounting. And financial accounting is really the focus on these three statements: the balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flows. And they use different names. So the balance sheet, sometimes they call it a statement of financial position. Income statement, they call it the P&L, profit and loss. And then these statements are used by the owners of the company because it helps to see on a high level how the company's doing. Because even though the owners can get all the detail, they get all the information that's behind all these numbers, sometimes it's just easier to look at the higher level and lenders of the company also need this information. Like if a bank lends money to the company, they're going to need to see their financials. Analysts, because they need to update their pricing for the company and update their models. So analysts need these financials. Rating agencies rate the debt on a lot of companies. So if a company's rated AAA, like Microsoft, then they pay a low interest rate on their debt. If a company's rated BB, then they have to pay a high interest rate on their debt. And then stakeholders, anybody who has a vested interest in the company, like if you own stock in a company, or if you're an employee or a supplier of the company, you may want to see these financials. So in the US, GAAP governs the way companies report their financials, generally accepted accounting principles. So a company has to follow rules by GAAP. They can't deviate. Of course, there's a lot of room to kind of change things around, but it has to be within the confines of GAAP accounting. And a lot of countries use IFRS rules. I think hundreds of 100 countries. So there's a lot of similarities between GAAP and IFRS, but there's some differences too. So this section is financial accounting, which is info sent externally. Next, we're going to talk about managerial accounting, which is for insiders. So managerial accounting is the third of the four accounting areas. So only insiders have access to this information. And it's more detailed than what we get in the financial accounting portion. Because if the company applied for a loan with a bank, the bank may request a lot more detail than what's publicly reported. And the company kind of has to give it to the bank because they need that money. They need the loan from the bank. But if I ask the company, I say, can you give me more detail on your revenue? Can you let me know which suppliers, what's your biggest suppliers? And they're not going to give it to me because they don't have to give me any information besides what's publicly out there. You know, I want to teach at a college, and I contacted all the local universities, like 10, and they never reply. It's so annoying because I want to teach a class about like being an entrepreneur and like a kind of stock market class. And I emailed so many people. I emailed the head of the school. I emailed different departments, and I never get anywhere. So it's really not what you know; it's who you know. So management of the company uses all this detail to make decisions. And there's no rules for how this information is given. So if like the bank requests information from the company, there's no like format, like GAAP has a format you have to abide by. Yeah, maybe I'll come back to New York. Are you in New York? So all this detail is needed because it helps to improve the quality. If each department at a company is seeing all the detail, they could help identify if something's wrong, or maybe even cut costs somewhere, or improve, become more efficient. That's the idea, right? To reduce expenses that are not needed and maximize profits. Oh, New Jersey? What part of Jersey? Like northern or southern or central? I used to go to Jersey all the time. Like I in the Jersey Shore. I used to go there. Have a house in Jersey Shore. And the fourth and the last area is tax accounting. So it's focused on just the tax part of things, like the tax returns and how much money the company pays in taxes. So it's definitely the most complex part. I have a hard time understanding Newark. Yeah, I used to fly into Newark all the time because I'm from Staten Island. But it's really confusing. I have a hard time understanding a lot of the tax rules. Like I could figure out a lot of the GAAP accounting, but sometimes I just can't figure out taxes. Like even if I watch videos and, but anyways, but the thing that makes it even more confusing is it varies so much by industry. Like if you're a manufacturer, you may have to pay different taxes than if you're an insurance company. And if you're in one country, you pay different taxes than another country, which is obvious. But if you're in the same country, you might have higher taxes in California than in Nevada, for instance. And you might even be in the same state and the same exact type of company, but you pay different taxes because maybe you're a nonprofit and others are for profit. I mean, So it could get really confusing trying to figure out taxes. And that's a huge expense, right? It could be like 25% of your revenue. This is the the IRS is in America. We have to follow the rules by the IRS, and then the SAT in Mexico. So, Jazz, what's up? Thanks for joining. Thanks for being a member. Will the taxes complicated on the sale of your business? I mean, I have an accountant, so I don't think so. I think it's pretty straightforward. I just pay taxes on my profit, what I profited on a business. And what I profited, like I paid, like I had upfront costs to get into the business, but I was a franchise, so I had when I bought into the franchise, it was $27,500 for the franchise fee, the upfront franchise fee. That's up to $50,000 now, but that gets amortized. So the more it gets amortized, like the more taxes I have to pay, because my gain will be higher. If you're following me, I could do it in Excel, but I think it's pretty straightforward. But I mean, I have an accountant that does my taxes. I don't really try to understand the tax codes that closely where I do my own taxes. But could you do a series on ETFs? Yeah, I guess ETFs. The oil video I did, well, the S&P 500 video I did, I talked about a few ETFs, well, the S&P ETFs, which is SPY, I can't remember. And the oil video, the finding an oil stock, I talked about the oil ETFs. So just there's 4 areas of accounting. The bookkeeping, which I don't really talk about on this channel. I kind of skipped over. But that's kind of the first step. But we don't see that at all. We just care about financial accounting. We really don't care about anything else. We just want to see the balance sheet, income statement. Like we don't really care about managerial accounting. Maybe tax accounting a little bit. Financial accounting. So it's on my Patreon. And if you want the slides, the PowerPoint slides, you could email me. Yeah, I did Coca-Cola. Warren Buffett, we should really listen to him. It's like, it's only going up. It hasn't even come down in the past few months, like every other stock. Look at it. I mean, it's pretty much trading at its all-time high. It's down, what, 1% in a month? Coca-Cola. Kraft Heinz is finally coming back up. It's actually flat in the past 12 months. You're bearish on Coke? I have a lot of Amazon, and I think I'm flat. I have it for like 3 years now, and I think I'm flat after this big decline. I probably bought it around here. No, I think I actually bought it right when the pandemic started. So I'm probably down actually. But maybe I'm flat or maybe I'm down 10%. But I got it when it's right in the beginning of COVID. I don't know. It's a sad market. Just don't look at your portfolio. Just ignore it. How's Apple doing? See, Apple stays up there. I mean, that's down to about what 10%. I don't know. I don't see Coke shrinking, but and I know it's not healthy, but it always. Yeah, that's right, Johnson Johnson. That's hanging in there. It's. I'm probably up on that because I bought it. I think I bought it around February, so I'm probably up like 5% maybe. I don't know what I bought it at. I mean, it might have been in January actually. I can't remember. Yeah, no, it was. It was around New Year's, I think. So I might be like flat or maybe up a little bit, which is better than Facebook down like 40%. I bought Facebook in the new year at 300, like over 300. It's killing me. I have I have a lot of Facebook when it was lower, like 170 or so, like down here. I think in 2018 I bought a lot, and then I bought a lot in the beginning of the year. So I'm not down that much on Facebook overall because I have a lot from back here, but I was up well over 100% on Facebook. Like it was my best performing stock. I was up like 120% at one point, and then I bought more, and now I'm probably. If I didn't buy any, I would have still been up, but I bought more, so I'm probably down. But it's like people saying Facebook is going away. It's like, I mean, and Coca-Cola, no one's going to drink it because it's like the most purchased beverage in the world. Um, is Baba back down? What a joke this market is. Okay, it's not. I remember I wanted to buy Baba when it was below 80, and I had a big order in to buy it in the like the high 70s. And then I got scared, I chickened out, and the very next day it went up to over 100. I was kicking myself. Um, but now it's come back down to low 80s. So I could have picked it up if I wanted to. Um, well, Baba is the whole Chinese debacle, and now the bear market. Yeah, commodities. That's if you want a safety, yeah, ET is like the only stock that's up. I'm up like probably 20% now because I got it around $9. What commodities? Gold? Is that how's that doing? 175? Huh. It's down too from the peak. You can't really it's hard to make money with commodities. You just have to time it right. It's kind of like buying oil when oil was over 100. You're probably not going to make any money. If you happen to catch gold like below 100, you'll make money. But anytime it's like up in these levels, you're never going to make money. I mean, maybe you'll make 10%. REITs are an interesting play also. I think REITs might be it depends what REIT. But there's a lot of I think casino REITs are really good. Oh, yeah. Dow Chemicals and Kinder Morgan. Oh, that's good. Because you pick the right stocks. I'm the idiot picking Netflix and Facebook. I should have kept my strategy. I kind of deviated because the channel, I felt like obligated to pick stocks. I should have stuck with my strategy, stayed heavy on indexes, and then when a market crashes like this, I can sell out of indexes and pick up stocks at a cheap price. Now I'm down, but whatever. Berkshire is down actually a good amount too. Well, not that much, right? 53. 10%. 10% from the peak. This is my best stock, definitely. I mean, I got it at what did I get it at? 230? I can't remember because I was up 100%. So I think I got it at 260. If you want to buy a house, instead of buying a house, just buy this. If you have $500,000 for a house, just buy Berkshire Hathaway. You're probably going to make more money. Although I bought my house in 2015. I'm up like 80% on that. So it's kind of like Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire I bought in I think 2018 or 2017. Indiscriminate selling going on now. It doesn't matter what the stock. Yeah, it's just selling. I mean, it does nothing's changed. Wow, that's down a lot. I didn't know AMD was down so much. It's almost down 50%, maybe like 40% from the peak. But they're saying real estate may actually start coming down. So maybe REITs. That's the thing. For years, my BRK was trailing the S&P 500. And I was always thinking, oh, I should have put it into S&P. And then just a few months ago, my BRK outperformed the S&P 500. So it just took 4 years. So I got it around 5 years ago. I think it was maybe 2018. And look, BRK is the blue line. It kind of tracks S&P, but you can see it's been doing better the past 2 months. Yeah, it's amazing how much better it is in S&P the past 2 months, isn't it? Look at that. It companies without that Netflix. I can't believe it's down like, what is that, 70%? God. In 2 years, it's down 58%. Netflix. In 1 year, it's down 64%. But that's not even from the peak. 690 to 180. Down 74% from the peak. Netflix. That's crazy. Buying Scott. Thank you, Jazz. I really appreciate it. It's nice of you. Coal. What coal company do you invest in? I did a video on a coal company. I can't remember the name of it. Meta is the closest. Coal. But I did a coal video. Oh, BTU. BTU. Yeah, that's up a lot the past. It was up to over 30. Yeah, coal is a good source of energy. Isn't oil coming back? Oil price. It's like 110, right? 110. Yeah, I wish I shorted. I was thinking of shorting, but who knew it was people were saying it might go to 200, oil 200, and it hit 120. It came way back down. to low 90s, but it's coming back again. Now it's 110. I want to short UCO. It's I have to somehow get it. If I would have caught it at 190, but it came down a lot quickly, but now it's coming back up. It's garbage. Look at this. Look how much it's gone up the past year. But if you go out 5 years, look how much it's down. It's down 54% in 5 years. I can't even see it. It's down over 99% historically. UCL. So it just goes down over time. This is a double leveraged ETF. It tracks the price of oil using hedge agreements. Am I saying that right? Swap agreements by tracking the price of oil. So it constantly has to keep rolling the contracts. $1.92. There's another one. Like it's down like over 90% over time. It's a tough stock to make money. Okay. So good stream today. Check out the video. So the next video is Coca-Cola is tomorrow, and then that accounting video that I did. So thanks for coming on. Keep commenting. It's risky, really risky, China. Okay. Have a good night. See ya.